Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are, whenever you are. Welcome to a new Breakout Solutions live stream. I'm your host, Matt Batiri, here with you today. Wasim is unfortunately celebrating Eid. Being a Muslim, it is a day of celebration, getting through Ramadan, so I hope he's having fun with his family and his loved ones. So without further ado, we're going to jump, first of all, before we get into the news and everything else, Bitcoin is dumping, and I know when things like this happen, I know that people, especially those of you watching this show, probably want to quickly know why is Bitcoin dumping? Why have we halted? Why have we stopped? I thought we were going higher. I did think we were going to at least get to $32,000. That did not occur, and now Bitcoin is in a little bit of a free fall. So we've basically we hit $31,000, currently down 3,000 US dollars, which is I think about 10% because 33,000 is 10% of 30,000. So we'll look 31, 30,000, 31,000, very, very similar. So we're having a bit of a dump, but this, I've been waiting for this for quite some time. Even though we did have this retracement from, where was this? 25,355 to 19,000. This recent run up from 19.5 to 31 has been straight up, right? We've been going straight up. So I've been waiting for a decent sized pullback like this, and we're finally getting one. So I'm expecting something between 10 and about 25% of a retracement. So 25%, where would that take us? That would take us, let's get 21%. Thereabouts, about 23,500. I think that could be the worst case scenario, would just be the 618 fib retracement from the high to the low. So somewhere around, 24,000, 23.5. That's what I think worst case scenario, because I do think that Bitcoin is still in a bullish market. So as long as we remain above here, which is 19,500, we don't have too much to worry about. This is just a great opportunity. So for those of you guys not in the market, not financial advice, but whenever Bitcoin pulls back about 10%, I always dollar cost average in, no matter what. Even if it's a bit, there's a larger drop, I tend to still buy as well, even when it goes low. But I don't want to get greedy. A 10% pullback is fantastic, especially when I know that Bitcoin is going to go a lot further in the next 12 to 24 months. So I'm expecting at least a minimum of 4 to 5x from current prices. I'm thinking about six figures. There'll be a fair bit of selling at around about $100,000. So I'm happy to be buying at these prices. It's even if it comes down a little bit more, it's not a bad play. But look, guys, we're not here to talk about the Bitcoin price. We're here to talk about the news. So without further ado, let's jump into the news of the week. So first of all, if you're Australian, the RBA, so the the Reserve Bank of Australia, has talked about representation for workers with a focus on full employment and fighting inflation. So they're having a bit of a shake-up on the Australian side, and I think they're doing this because they've seen how effed up the US has become with all the BS that they've done, and they're causing to their country. And we're going to dive deep in regards to the GDP and numbers surrounding the American economical crisis. But this is going to leave. This is why I think it's really funny. We're going to probably see Trump probably president again. I think he's going to have a huge campaign to try and make America great again, because obviously the Democrats have done a horrible job and have put them in that position. So he's going to be the man entrusted to try and get him out of it. And if he does do it, he might be seen as one of the best presidents of all time. It sounds so weird to say that someone like Donald Trump could possibly become the best president, but if he does get them to avoid a depressed dollar becoming not becoming the world reserve currency, a lot of people think that he's he's the man. So we'll see. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. Anyways, the Reserve Bank of Australia will give equal weight to achieving full employment and fighting inflation, and workers will have a voice on its board, according to a review that produced 51 recommendations. So the RBA will also create a new monetary policy board to enhance the expertise of those making interest rate decisions, which will include a chief communications officer to enforce greater accountability and transparency. The report also recommended the reference of on average over time should be dropped, as it makes it harder to say whether or not the target is being met, limiting accountability. So this is interesting. I like this article because it talks about employing new people, such as a chief communications officer, to enforce greater accountability and transparency. But also they talked about getting people that are to enhance the expertise of those making interest rate decisions. So if you're going to get experts to do that, my question is, why weren't there experts there in the first place? Okay, you don't get me coming off the street go judging an MMA fight as an example. I don't have expertise in it. I love MMA. I understand a lot of it. But when it comes to judging and what I need to look for, you wouldn't put it in my hands, even though sometimes I like to pick the scorecards and I do very well. There's been a lot of robberies lately. You wouldn't get someone that's not qualified to do something. So why do we have now people that are not experts making these interest rate decisions? Have we just picked up people off the street and put them in, and now we actually have to find people with economics degrees and so forth to make these decisions? It's a bit crazy. So yeah, look, it's good changes, because what's happening in the world is not only affecting Australia, the US, but everywhere really. The Western countries, I believe, are feeling that pinch. So there needs to be huge reform. And if you haven't seen the YouTube video, it's quite viral. The English guy being very angry about fractional banking. Just Google fractional banking English guy, and I'm sure it'll come up. It's super popular because it explains how we got into this mess in the first place. All right, next, let's move on. We've got Hong Kong court recognizes crypto as property. So Hong Kong's High Court has ruled that cryptocurrencies are property in a landmark case involving defunct exchange Gatecoin. So the court had to decide whether crypto held by Gatecoin still belongs to customers on trust or could be made available to general creditors. Justice Linda Chan determined that the funds weren't held on trust, but her ruling found that crypto inherently has all the qualities of property per domestic law firm Hogan Lovells. So this decision means crypto is legally capable of being held on trust. Hong Kong's definition of property is inclusive and intended to have a wide meaning. So quite interesting, because obviously a lot of people think that, those that had money in Celsius, Three Arrows, anything that collapsed last year, this could have ramifications of possibly, helping maybe be the precedent and help others maybe regain funds they lost in those hacks, attacks, whatever you want to call them, anything that has obviously implications where people lose money. So not fraud or anything like that, but just people made a bad decision with other people's investment money. Can I get some of it or all of it back because it's backed or a trust? So, that's the risk, really. Like, if you could invest your money into something and you were guaranteed for it to grow, everyone would do it. But shit like this needs to happen, and that's what you're taking from Peter to pay Paul. That's that's just how a lot of people make money. In order for you to make money, someone else is probably losing that money, right? So yeah, I could go on a tangent. I'm not going to go on a tangent. So let's move on to the next article. Or to allow crypto for so the Central Bank of Russia is considering the use of digital currencies like crypto for international settlements with a draft law already been according to the recent report. Now, the bank is reportedly against the use of crypto within the state, but will use assets for external payments. So this could be the special institution will be created in Russia to mine and transfer crypto to foreign structures. Prizes to be added to the picture later. So Russia is also looking to internationalize the Chinese yuan and right on the CBDC front, with banks expecting to start testing the CBDC on customers. So for the we talked about on this show, Russia went out and bought crypto. So this is not new to me that they obviously one day probably use it to transact, because when that war started, obviously the ruble dropped, and because they had sanctions on them, no one was able to trade with them, etc. So they found countries that wanted to trade with them, but to keep it under wraps, probably use crypto to do so. So I'm not too surprised that they're going to bring it in. It does suck for their residents that they're making it legal so they can do international trade, but then sometimes it's a little bit silly. All right, let's look at the market. Is red anything CAS? I don't know what CAS is. I look at look at them. When the Godfather goes down, it's going to bring the whole ship down with it, because it's the captain, and like a good captain, it sinks with the ship. So it's going to bring everything down with it. So don't be alarmed. I think it's a minor pullback. I'm kind of looking at the charts now. I'm not fearful that we're not going to. This is just an amazing opportunity because we've gone up really fast. So we've let a lot of people, we've let a lot of people on the sidelines because a lot of people aren't believing this run. So these pullbacks are necessary so people can get in, and therefore it's going to have the reverse effect. Right? We will end up going back up. A lot of indicators are showing we're getting to oversold, so we're going to get a little bit of a bounce. I'm not going to say market reversal, but we're probably going to get a little bit of a bounce here. So don't worry, guys. BTC down 3.23%, but 10% down from the highs. ETH also coming down. Everything else, stables are going up, of course, because everyone's trying to park their money in stables and selling. Fear and greed, we're at a 50, so we're neutral now. So, okay, the greed in the market is slowly dissipating. People are, there we go. People are getting a little bit fearful, but this is good. This is, if you're a smart investor, when there's blood in the streets, this is where you start making your money. All right, let me just close some of these screens so we don't, my computer works a little bit better. So if you haven't been watching, Gary Gensler, here we go. I've got to make sure I go to the Twitter highlights. So as you may or may not have been following, Gary Gensler and the representative McHerney arguing on whether ETH is a commodity or a security, and Gensler was unable to answer. A lot of people had this on Gary Gensler shaking in his boots, like trying to get the clickbait. We're not here to clickbait. He was trying to answer things. He was trying to blame crypto on the fall of the recent banks in America. He just hates crypto, but everyone is just basically bagging on him in this. I don't even know what's going on, but he's setting to do their job, and he's doing that. So it's quite I just slip on my body down at the moment. Coinbase just licensed in Bermuda to launch a futures trading service for the main Coinbase exchange. In my opinion, unless it changes in the SEC. SEC is going to push out crypto from America and to their detriment and their GDP. People are just going to take their money elsewhere. They can tax it. They can make a lot of money for crypto. They just want to really, stay away from this entire thing. So, in the day, one man's trash is another man's treasure, and I'm I'm surprised I'm surprised Coinbase went to Bermuda. Why not go to El Salvador? They're loving it. I'd be going to El Salvador if I was Coinbase. Next, we have Jesse Mize. I was going through the threads. This is really good. I'm not going to go through each thread. I'll probably go through just a couple of them. But here are the 7 most important charts to understand the United States fiscal position and why we're heading towards a debt spiral black hole. Here is the annual budget surplus or deficit through 2022. So you can see they're obviously $3 trillion in debt. So the problem with deficits is they add up. I'm not going to go through that one. That wasn't too interesting. This one's interesting. We could reverse this trend if the US government could just spend less than it brings in via tax revenues. But this hasn't happened in 22 years. There is no political will to balance the budget. This is why deficits are the norm. Here's 2022. I heard a statistic the other day. They spent like 750 million, I think it is, or billion. I don't think, maybe it was billion, on their army and like security and like just all that stuff. It's crazy how much money they spend on just war, like guns, whatever, like just military. Sorry, military is the word I was looking for. They spend like 750 million or billion, one or two, I forget which one. It could be billion, but that'd be crazy, on military. Anyways, I recommend you check this person out, Jesse Mize. Look through this thread. It was pretty cool. Next, we've got MicroStrategy. Oh, no, I don't have that one. There we go. Let me change my headings. Good. MicroStrategy Sailor fuses work email address with Bitcoin. So he's the co-founder of Michael Saylor, who's the co-founder of MicroStrategy, has integrated the Lightning Network, a Bitcoin layer 2 scaling solution, into his corporate email address. So MicroStrategy's integration is made possible by the Lightning address protocol, which allows users to link an internet identifier such as an email address rather than having a copy wallet address or use QR codes. It is unclear whether this feature has been integrated into all corporate emails at the firm. MicroStrategy has spent $4.17 billion to accumulate 140,000 BTC since March 2021. He is the guy that brought crypto mainstream with his the biggest, I guess the biggest public traded company to actually say that they had Bitcoin on their balance sheet. And then, we saw Elon Musk and everyone else coming in. So we're here to stay. Next, Romania's government NFT trading platform lands on Multiverse X. So the Institute of Research and Development in Informatics plans to launch ICI decentralized services and NFT trading platform on Multiverse X. So the platform will be officially launched on April 26th, and the ICI itself will launch an NFT collection named Past, Present, Future, showcasing scientific and technological advancements over the past half century. ICI decentralized services will be one of the first government initiatives to join the digital asset ecosystem in Romania, with the platform intending to benefit the country's economy by attracting new investments and fostering innovation in the blockchain and decentralized technology industry. So really good thing. I think that the eastern countries of Europe are one of the most untapped places where crypto is going to probably be mainstream, because it's the poorer side of Europe. So you've got like Romania, Ukraine, Czechoslovakia, like out of all the countries, the Western countries, obviously a little bit more rich. You've got those middle countries that were always in the middle of changing sides during the war. So they probably suffered a lot because that's where the war was mostly fought as well, in those countries. So, and the average wages are quite low, because I remember looking for help when I was starting my businesses, and there was a lot of graphic designers, in like Ukraine and Yugoslavia, like $5 an hour. You can get some really good designers from out there. And I was really shocked at the price, and it's because obviously they're a bit of a poorer country. So I'm not surprised that the crypto industry is going to be starting to boom in Eastern Europe as well. Last one for adoption is the UAE's regulated cryptocurrency firms applies licenses. So the Securities and Commodities Authority of the United Arab Emirates has begun accepting license applications from cryptocurrency firms seeking to offer their services in the country. So the SCA's new licensing regime was endorsed following the UAE Council of Ministers' decision to regulate the cryptocurrency sector. Cryptocurrency firms must now acquire a license from the SCA to operate in the UAE. The regulator will oversee investment-related virtual assets transactions, whilst the UAE Central Bank will regulate crypto used for payments. Plans to amend the virtual asset rulebook are expected in 2022, which will add new categories of virtual asset service providers. I definitely think like the UAE is one of the biggest countries that are adopting cryptocurrency at a rapid rate. I know that we as a business are looking to set up a company, an entity in the UAE. So they're very crypto friendly. Taxes are really reasonable and they're just progressive. And that's what you want to see out of your country. You want to be progressive. So well done El Salvador making Bitcoin legal tender. Well done to the UAE. Sorry, I'm looking at charts. Well done to the UAE also being a fast adopter. And I think it's only going to increase, especially with third world countries. There's so much benefit them adopting crypto as a legal tender. They just need to be able to swallow their pride. And the governments running those countries really need to wake up, just like the President Bukele, or I forget how to say his name, from El Salvador did for his country, and now his citizens are reaping the rewards. Guys, thank you so much for watching. It's been an honor to replace Wasim today. Wasim, if you're watching, g'day, mate. And guys, we'll see you guys next week, same time, Tuesdays and Fridays, for the latest and greatest news, Twitter highlights, and adoption highlights. My name's Matt. Thank you for watching. Catch you guys on the next live stream. Bye for now.